My name is Chris Wharton, and I'm an associate professor in the nutrition program at Arizona State University. And I'm extrememely excited to have Jean-Martin Fortier here to offer this incredible workshop on profitable small-scale farming. This is a collaboration that's been months in the making with a lot of organizations, and I want to just call some of them out now. So Kelly Young, for example, at U of A Cooperative Extension, helped put this on, along with Steadfast Farms and Eric Schultz, and a number of other folks are contributing to this event. So I just want to make mention of one of the other organizations involved in this workshop. It's called the Food Systems Transformation Initiative. And so this is a new organization at ASU. It's one that I direct. And it's really focused on broadly equitable participation in the food system. And that means we really care about food security and people's ability to have access to healthy, oftentimes locally produced, culturally appropriate, affordable food. But it's also about ensuring that people can have livelihoods in the food system. And so this event is really an important piece of that. We really care about having an integrated and diverse food system and allowing people to have the opportunity to be producers and participate in the food system from that perspective as well.
Next part of this was about extending the season. And I'm not going to go in details here because you guys have the reverse. This is typical of farming practices northeast. Farmers can't wait to get into their fields come springtime. And I always wonder, why have you prepared your soil 10 years ago? What's the deal with this? So again, coming back to permanent beds. Okay, well, I'll go fast then. So we use a lot of row covers. These are UV treated sandbags. The explanation for why we don't have the aisles, the pathway covered with clover is because we want to be able to use the dirt to anchor row covers, insect nets throughout the season, and because that's how we bury the cover crop. These are different hoops. These are made of PEX, plumbing, tube, 1/2 inch, and they can be higher than your usually metal hoops. See them here. This is a picture of the walk-behind tractor on a permanent bed setup really early in the spring, contrasting with my friends that can't wait to get into their fields with their tractor. I think it's silly. That was the picture of that. Metal bender, to have hoops that are made out of metal. This is especially important if you have snow loads. This is the trick when you're making mini tunnels, making sure that the first hoop and the last hoop are really straight. If one goes, the whole thing kind of like, so you want to have braces that anchor them, or you put another one like this. So to have like a cross or a shape. Okay? Caterpillar tunnels, they're wonderful. They can be moved really easily. They're a bigger version of these hoop house, these mini tunnels. So they're 2-inch pipes, and metal rods are cut into 2 feet pieces, buried 1 feet, and then you just slide the hoop into the rod, and then you take a rope with a slip knot and you tie all the ridges together, creates the rigidity. Then you bring it down there, tie it lock, and then it won't move anymore. And then you'll have a brace like that. And then you go. You have a structure. You'll put the plastic over it. And then the final stage is to bring all these ropes in the middle of all these, between the arches, to really bring everything down. So even if there's a lot of wind, it should stay. It's called a caterpillar tunnel because it looks like a caterpillar. Okay? So the big advantage of this is that it can be moved really easily. It takes us 3 hours to put it down. It's a 4 times 4. It's a 12 by 100 foot caterpillar. It takes us half a day to dismantle it and put it somewhere else. So I'll have it for certain crops at one point, then I'll move it, and then I'll move it again, and you guys could put shade plot over these. We grow heirloom tomatoes in the summer, really popular back home. This is a little hook. That's how we keep it open. And when you want to close it, you just flip the hook inside, and then the plastic will go all the way down. Okay? This is a 3-season shelter. It's really not permanent. This is a picture of Tim. That was his first year on his land. 4 days after putting this up, he has a tornado. So permanent hoop houses, sometimes better, especially in the winter. So these are intercroppings. So we'll have, because this is prime estate, really valuable space. We want to do really early carrots. We'll have the cucumbers intercropped with beets that are transplanted. Lettuce mix, 12 rows. It can grow year-round because it's really frost hardy. And we use the combination of one shelter, one other shelter. So that's 4 degrees, that's another 4 degrees, and the crop can take minus 4 degrees. So add this up. You have a system where you can grow pretty much year-round, even if in northern climates. So no reason why you wouldn't be able to do this except for the heat. Okay, so insects, I'll go fast here too. Well, they're different insects, so it's not the same, but one thing stays that we have a solution pre-planned for all of them. Okay, so in most cases, we're using insect nets. So we also use biopesticides, and we're not shy about that. These biopesticides, they're photo or biodegradable, and they need to touch the insect on contact. So you really need to know what you're doing. You need to be scouting for certain specific insects, and we always dress up for the occasion because even if it's biological or natural, it's still toxic. We have something back home which is a scouting service which sends us alerts every week of different insects that have arrived in different areas. And it's free. And what this does is that it allows us to go look for certain problems with the idea that they might be there. Because if you're just walking and kind of like observing things, it's not the same thing as you're specifically going to a crop looking for a bug or an insect. Sticky tapes, a great way to see if certain crops are there. Again, when you buy these tapes, there's procedures, you just follow them, very interesting. Insect nets, can't grow organic without them. It's a mechanical, physical barrier, and that's the best solution against problem. See the difference here? Flea beetles, no flea beetles. It doesn't. These insect nets have no thermal capacity. So that's the big advantage of having them, especially in you guys' climate. So different nets, different hole size. These are like mosquito nets. And you want to have the right net for the right insect because they're not all the same price. And you don't want to have only smaller nets because they're 10 times the price. So what you do, once you know what insect is a problem, you call the manufacturer and you ask for the net to protect against that insect. Everything that needs to be covered, yeah. because it's one crop per bed, same crop. Okay, yeah, you're right. Okay, I'm protecting my summer squash against cucumber beetles. Okay, I'll have the net for that. If it's also predated by another insect, I'll have the net for the smaller of the two. Yep. We put bumblebees inside the hoop houses. Okay? So this is how we get rid of that insect. We've sealed the tunnel with an insect net. We also have this. It's a SAS. So it's a little vestibule. You open the door, you close the door, have an inspection, good. Then you open the other door. We want to make sure that no insects can come in. That's a great strategy to go about it. Remember this picture? Ties down to your question. We didn't learn all of this overnight. It took us many years to figure it out. And we started like that. So if I would have had a book like The Market Gardener when I started, it would have jump-started my farming career fivefold.
That's kind of like my question.
I think so.
You're pretty diligent.
I think it would save you a lot of the learning step, because there's a lot of ways to go really bad, to start off bad. If you have at least a good procedure, a good guideline, a good setup, a good design, all of the fine-tuning will take many years, but at least you're off with a good system. So this is a picture of our booth now. So people are very much attracted to it because there's a lot of abundance. Everything is washed. Everything is neatly placed. And there's a lot of colors. This is a picture of my farming friends that were in New Mexico when I was there. Channing Bros. They would do turnips, rutabagas, radishes, but they would pile it so high, and then they would tell me, JM, pile it high and watch it fly. So that's my advice to you if you're doing farmers market. Pile it high and watch it fly. People are very much attracted to abundance. Okay? There you go. Pile high and watch it fly. Usually it's to my eyeballs. So I'm hidden behind the... This is a picture of the first setup when we started doing CSA. That was a long, long time ago. And we used to do this in boxes. So we would do the harvest, we would bring everything into the cold room, then we would bring everything out, make the boxes, fold the boxes, and deliver them. And at one point, we realized that there was a lot of steps involved into that. So we kind of changed this around where we just figured that instead of having one person doing 100 box, how about we get 100 person to do one box? So now how we do things is that we bring the harvest directly to the park where our CSA is. We put everything on 2 tables, and then all of the members, the CSA members, they do their own boxes. And this way we saved half of day's work, which is significant. And then people, they have the impression that they're choosing, and they're happier. Oh, great, we get to choose this year. Yeah. So it's a bit more prep on certain things. We'll prepare the units together. But okay, so we do this in a park. It's outside. And we've learned a lot of things through the years. It used to be 4 hours. So we would be there for 4 hours. It's like And then we figured, no, that can't work for us. So we said to everyone, it's 2 hours. We'll be here from 4:30 to 6:30, and at 6:30 we're gone. Haven't come and pick up your box, you've lost it. And everybody got in line, and now everybody's here from 4 to 6:30, 4:30 to 6:30. We saved 2 hours there. Saved some times with changing the way we're doing the boxes, this, that. Okay? So it's really simple. And when we say community-supported agriculture, that's really what it is. You know, people get together, they come down, they meet their community members, they pick up, they make a conscious investment of their time to come and pick up these weekly shares. And it means a lot to them. Yes? Yeah, bring their own bags. Yep. Okay. This is a picture of events we would have at the farm. We don't hold them anymore because this was the goal, was to get everybody on the farm. And we would invite everyone all the time, every year, but nobody would come. And so one year, we got a little bit tired of this, and we said, why don't we do a party? Why don't we cook up a really nice meal and have the meal outside in the garden? We were thinking about this, and we're like, oh, that's a lot of work, and we're already tired. Okay, well, what if somebody would cook for us? Okay, that's great. There's a lot of money involved into renting these and, you know, doing the dishes. And say, okay, well, why don't we rent dishes? Well, that's a lot of money. Okay, well, how about we get the CSA member to pay for that and pay for the tents and pay for the meal? And so that's what we did. So we hired everybody to do this. And then when you have a CSA, there's a contract at the start of the year. And we put in fine prints that there would be a $20 fee this year for the farm-to-table event. So people didn't really know, they hadn't been it, but why this was important was that was the hook to get them on the farm. We're having a party, you paid for it, why don't you come? And then they came, and it was a huge success. And that's how we met everyone really. They saw the farm, they saw the rabbit coop, they saw, you know, our lifestyle, what we were doing, we were dedicated, and that was a game changer when people really came to the farm. There was a connection that was built. This, by the way, is the husband of the French woman that will always complain about the leaks.
Are you serving leeks?
So random things now, because we'll have time for questions. This is a greens harvester that was developed some years ago by an 18-year-old young man. And I collaborated in the design of this product, and it's been saving us hundreds of hours every year since. So I've been harvesting salad mix on my knees with a harvest knife for a long time. And when this tool came in, what used to take us 4 people, 2 hours, now takes me 40 minutes. So it's a really big time saver. So these are the kind of tools that are coming out now that are really making small-scale farming relevant again because we're efficient. These are all simple things. It's powered by a drill. Everybody has a drill. So along with this idea of having the multiplication of small farms, of replacing, mass production with production by the masses, will come a tipping point where there'll be a market for some of these tools. And when there's a market, then there's people that are getting involved, and then we get better products, harvesting things, better techniques, or also better tools, and that just makes the farming scene more vibrant and more alive. And we're really in the heart of that now, and these are really exciting times. What else do I have? This is for washing greens. This, I don't know, Eric, if you had that problems, but there's a lot of pressure now to have our washing stations be more, what's the word? Yeah, commercialized, sanitary. And so we've washed greens in washing machines for many, many years. And then one inspector came to our farm and said, you can't do that because you can't clean it. So that was the response. Let's just dismount everything and it's just one barrel and then you can clean it. Nope, that's another one. This is another project I'm working on now. This is called Ramiel wood chip, okay? And it's to bring some of the microbial life at a new level in the garden. So we're using hardwoods, and it's the top branches of hardwood in the spring where all the energy of the tree goes there. And we're chipping them, and we're bringing this into the garden. So it's bringing a lot of carbon into the soil, but also a lot of microbial and fungi life. And the way we go with this is we put this in the aisle, the pathway for one season, and then it really decomposes. And then when we raise our beds, we bring this material back onto the soil, and it's really starts to bring a lot of humus back into the soil. These are techniques that I want to develop more. There's a lot of science behind some of that. But as more and more as I develop this model, I'd like to see the aisles become composting machines. Because the aisles, there's no point to them now except to circulate. So if we could put a lot of organic matter in the aisles and do the composting process there, that could be an interesting process. Well, if needs be, I can always shovel in there because it's not too thick. Well, this because the thing that happens is that if you put wood chips onto your soil and you plant in it, since it's material that is not broken down, all of the microbial life will be busy trying to break that down, and you'll get a nitrogen loss for your crop. Okay? And so you don't want to do that. So that's why we put it in the aisles. But you could use straw the same, but wood is more, that'll last for 5-10 years before it's really broken down. So that's why you want to add that element into your garden. No, it's just you're using small branches. So it's not the tree. It's branches that are not more than 2 inch. When I say broken down, I mean turned back into soil. But it's great to have something that is not totally broken into your soil. That's organic matter. So now what we're doing is that we're doing one field block every year, thinking that in 10 years we'll start the cycle again. So again, adding more diversity to the procedure, to the system, is what we want to achieve. No. Yeah, one season is enough. Depends the state of affairs. I'm going to end with these. I'm not sure I want to go there, but these are tools that I've seen in Europe. They're built by the farmers themselves. They're for permanent bed systems, and very interesting. So even the bigger mechanized growers are turning to permanent beds now. So that's it for my presentation.